Okay, a lot of you have been asking, what's the deal with the BBS E88s on your 964? What are the widths? What are the sizes? What are the offsets? What are the tyres? Today, we're going to get into it all. Hey gang, welcome to the channel. My name's Andy. Alright, like I say, today we're going to take a closer look at my E88s. Now before we do, if you don't want to miss the Porsche content that I'm dropping, you know what to do. Just hit that subscribe button down below. And to those people who have subscribed already, I really want to just say big thanks. So today we're talking about my BBS E88s. I will say that the specs I'm going to talk about are specific to mine. So they may not be relevant to a set of LMs, they may not be relevant to a G-body car or a 993. The best advice I can give you if you take nothing else from this video is when it comes time to look at buying a set of BBS E88s, make sure you talk to an expert. Now I bought mine from AMG Wheels Australia. They were particularly helpful, they were great, but in terms of getting all the real information I needed, I spoke with David Esposito at Bootsy Gear in Connecticut. There's nothing he doesn't know about setting up these wheels for these cars. Alright, so let's talk sizes. I went with an 18-inch rim. Now I was coming off 17s, I had the original Cup 1s or replica Cup 1s, and of course the D90s that shipped with the 964s originally were actually a 16-inch rim. So I did have some concerns about how this would affect the handling, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, but I really did just love the look of 18-inch E88s on a 964. I'd seen so many examples. The other thing that made me feel somewhat confident about going for that size was, of course, the 3.6 964 turbo was running on 18-inch speed lines, so I figured if Porsche can do it, we'll probably be okay with my car. Okay, let's talk width. I'm running an 8 at the front and a 10 at the rear, compared with my Cup 1s, which were 7.5s at the front and a 9 at the rear. Alright, let's talk offsets, because that's where people really trip up. The ET number, or insertion depth number, is really the most critical thing when choosing these wheels. So I went with ET50 on the front and ET50 on the rear. Now I know people have gone with lower numbers, even as low as ET45 on the rear. I was just a bit worried this would be too much of an aggressive setup, set the wheel too far outbound and have me looking at challenges like having rolled fenders and those types of things. So 50 and 50 is what you call a bog standard sort of setup. Not too hard for fitting. We did actually have some challenges anyway, which I'll talk about in a second. But again, talking to Dave at Bootsy Gear, he said it was a really good place to start. And even doing some research on Renlist, a lot of people had suggested that they had gone with that setup and hadn't had too many issues, if any issues, with the fitment. Now, a question I get asked a lot is, what tyres am I running? With the E88s, I was able to fit Michelin PS4Ss, which is a tyre I love. So I'm running a 265/35 on the rear and a 225/40 on the front. In terms of handling, that was one of the things I was really concerned about. Going from a 17-inch to an 18-inch wheel, therefore having a lower profile tyre, I was concerned that the NVH levels would be adversely affected by changing to E88s. And actually I found the opposite to be true. They've been incredible. Because they are a lightweight motorsport wheel, that actually helps with the handling in itself, and also because the NVH levels on the PS4Ss are just so good, actually the handling with these has been better. Turn-in feels beautiful and sharp. Beautiful grip in the rear, obviously, because we've now gone to a wider tyre than we were running. I was originally running 255s on the Cup 1s, so it's just been incredible. So let's talk about some watch-outs, because there are a few. The first and most obvious one is fitment. Now, as I said before, going with offsets of ET50 at the front and the rear meant that I was in the best place I could possibly be in terms of making sure that I didn't have fitment issues, but I did still have some challenges. So because of the camber adjustment on the rear wheels, I actually found the inner edge of one of the rear tyres was hitting inside the guard. Now you can roll guards as well, and in fact a lot of people do. The advice I've had from people who do it is that with the 964, the front guards actually are reasonably easy to roll, but the rear guards are quite difficult. So if you're going to look at rolling the guards, you really want to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. The second thing is going to a wider wheel at the rear and going to a 265 tyre. Rear wheel is going to sit a little more outboard, And what that means is that when you're driving, if you're driving over gravel or other debris, it's more likely to be flicked up and hit the guard and hit the side of your bumper. Thirdly, potholes. I've always been anxious about potholes anyway, but these are a motorsport wheel. They're expensive. I have to say, with these rims on the car, I'm even more cautious than I used to be. The final watch out is washing. If you're somebody like me who wants to keep the car clean, these are a pain. They're a pain to wash. Coming from Cup 1s, which I think are probably the easiest wheel in the world to wash, with these, there are so many nooks and crannies, and even when you think you've got it all perfect, chances are you probably haven't, and you'll need to do it again. The other thing is that the barrels themselves, just washing them, when you dry them, they actually come up a little bit dull. So I actually polish all of the lips on the car. I use a Mother's mag wheel and aluminium polish, which I find to be fantastic, and just using that around the barrels is the perfect finishing touch. Anyway guys, that's it. Hopefully you got something out of this. I can't recommend these rims highly enough. They really transform the car. They're transformative both from a handling perspective, but also the way it looks. They just elevate it, and it's no accident that they're such a popular wheel on the 964 because they look so good. Like I said though, make sure you talk to someone to get the perfect fitment for your car and your needs. As always, thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and I'll see you all on the next one.